Today's project is my family's Homelite 20-inch chainsaw. I believe it's a 4620c, which is 46cc and a 20-inch bar. I need to fix the pull starter. It's got a little plastic piece that goes bad pretty quickly on these. The carburetor needs to be cleaned, the air filter needs to be cleaned. We'll go over a full tune-up and see if we can get this thing running. So let's get into it. Before I go too far, I just want to take this bar off. It'll make it easier to work on. Clean this thing up a little bit too. The first issue that I need to tackle here is when you pull this pull starter, it's got some plastic teeth in here and they're skipping, so it's not pulling smoothly. See if I can demonstrate that first. You can see it almost skipping. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. If not, you'll see in a second here when I pull this cover off. The starter recoil has 4 T25s. And it looks like these longer screws go on the bottom. I also think I need to take these two in the top cover here, which I need to get to in the carburetor. These are T27s. Okay. Little plastic cover here. Alright, here's what I'm talking about on these pull starters. Hopefully you guys will be able to see. But on the teeth right here, there's not much to grab onto, so they start chipping away and you don't get a good pull on these things. So I have a new one here. I will try to switch this out and see if it improves. See if I can get a close up. See the cuts in the teeth right there. That's all that really hits, so we might try to improve this as well. Let me see what's going on here. I'm not seeing a whole lot of room for improvement here. I might try to shim this up a little bit, just see if it'll make better contact, but let me get this one off. I have this new one here and we'll switch it out. Just a washer and a screw on this side. I have our spring over here. Gonna hold on to this so it doesn't spring all like crazy. Let me find some way to hold this and I'll get back to you. I just have this clamped on here. It's in the little slot, so I'm gonna go ahead and unwind this. Now I just need to get that out of there. Probably not going to be able to untie this, so I'll just cut it, make a new knot on my new one. These teeth, they just get worn really quickly, so if anyone has a better option for these pretty cheap Homelite saws, let me know. Okay, I have my knot tied here. Can go ahead and start winding this up, and then we'll put it on the clock spring and get it all put back together. Hopefully you guys will be able to see, but there's a little arrow here, and if not, you just want to make sure you have the cover up and the teeth will be going this way. Okay, I have my clock spring here. Still haven't lost it yet. Gonna try to put it in. Line it up here in the back, twist it up a little bit here, and hopefully set it down. Once you have your clock spring in and you make sure that the recoil is looking good, you can find your bolt with the washer on it and put it back in. There we go. Hopefully this thing will last for a little bit longer than the current one did. Now I'm going to take this top cover off to see if I can get to the carburetor. I've already have these two loose and there's one more back here. So look at the air filter, not too bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean it anyway. I'll blow this out with compressed air. It looks like to get this carburetor out, I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the handle off. There's just not enough space, and I think this will make it much easier. So let me pop this side off and see what it looks like. Never seen a trigger like that before, but it looks pretty easy to go back on. Okay, now that I have that off, I think I can take the screw out here on this side, however this comes out, right here on the bottom. That's loose. Now we can get to the carburetor. Pop this plastic cover off the back. This might be the whole carburetor, honestly. We'll see. I think it is. Looks like some sort of little foam piece. And yeah, I think it's the whole carburetor. So there's a linkage here for the choke. Okay, I got that off. I think there's just some fuel lines here. One for this, two for this bulb, and the fuel line coming in. I got this carburetor off here. All you have to do is pull this one line here from the fuel bulb. It's right on the inside. And then this is an overflow. It just goes down in a hole down there. Now we can put this thing in the ultrasonic cleaner and clean it all up. All right, here's the carburetor. It looks pretty dirty. So we'll introduce it to the ultrasonic cleaner and get it right. All right, here it is. Looking much better. I'll blow this out with compressed air and we'll start putting everything back together. All right guys, this is the next day here. I was planning on putting the carburetor back together that day, but when I was looking at it while the ultrasonic cleaner was going, I realized that this was not the fuel return line that I took off. It's actually the fuel pickup, and it broke in half right where it goes into the tank, and this part fell out. So I fished all of this out of the tank. I'm gonna have to make a new fuel line and fuel filter. So we'll do that and then we can slap it all back together. I have some fuel line here. I melted the end here to make it a little smaller. I'm gonna take my pliers and try to shove it down through the hole, and then I should be able to pull it through, put a filter on it, and pull it back and get this thing squared away. Okay, I have my fuel line running through that little hole. I can go ahead and put a filter on it. We'll cut this to length and put the carburetor on. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I might pull it back just a little bit. This one was not quite as long. I don't think it'll matter too much, but I'll pull it back a little bit. We'll cut it on the other side and get this thing hooked up. This fuel line looped around under this other one, so I'm just gonna cut it about here. That should be fine. And I will probably make another little piece here for this fuel line. Looks like it's the same size. Okay, that should work good. That'll go to the primer. This will come around here, fish it under, and it'll go into the carb right here. Okay, I have my fuel line hooked up here. This going into the tank. This one will go to the primer bulb, and we can go ahead here and put the carb back on. So, get this one here. Go ahead and hook up my throttle linkage. And I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see, but I'm going to put my choke in. Lift it up here. There we go. Now I can go ahead and tighten these screws, bolts. I was checking my throttle here, and you can see that it's not working correctly. This little line here needs to go over that plastic tab in the back. Now I'm getting full throttle. Carburetor's looking good now. Next up, I'll put this little rubber boot back, just covering up the idle adjustment and the carburetor adjustment. Can put the air filter on. I think I can finally put the handle back on now. Then I'll check everything out one more time. Looks good. Choke's working. I think we can finish putting this together now. I'm gonna put this gas cap back on before I forget. Top cover here. Now I can go ahead and put the pull starter back on. I think this goes just like that. Pull starter. These long bolts go on the bottom. Two short ones up top. Finish up with these two here. Okay, that should do it. We'll try to start it up now. Primer bulb is full. I'm gonna choke it. See if I can do it up here. Alright, it seems like it has a little bit of hesitation off the throttle, so I'm going to adjust this a little bit and see if I can't get it any better. Alright, I messed around with this thing for a little bit. Seems to be running a little better. It's definitely not a steel, but I think it'll cut some wood, so you can hear it now. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this Homelite chainsaw. We fixed the recoil starter, we cleaned the car, put a new fuel line in. It's back in action. We'll see how it cuts in the woods. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.